Thank you, Randy, for those kind comments, and you gotta love his math. Thank you, Rick, for your endorsement as well. Officers, members of this House, and guests, it's an honor to stand before you as a candidate for first Vice President of our American Society of Anesthesiologists, and to have this opportunity to request your support. On Wednesday morning, we have an important choice to make in this race for first Vice President. Who we choose to lead will have a direct bearing on our future. The challenges we face are the most significant ever, and how we respond will say a great deal about where we will be in the next 5 years. Today, I want to share with you my motivations and strengths and visions. My motivation to run this year was prompted by the realization that in this era of healthcare reform, the major challenges we face coincide directly with issues about which I am passionate and have gained significant expertise. These areas include scope of practice and legislative and regulatory issues. What strengths do I bring to this job? I bring to this position a clinical background as a cardiovascular and thoracic anesthesiologist and a former nurse anesthetist. This dual background has uniquely prepared me for this leadership position, giving me unmatched credibility on scope of practice issues. Who better to discuss the differences in education, training, and clinical practice? The difference in knowledge between the two professions is why I am so passionate about physician supervision. All patients deserve the right to benefit from physician input as it impacts their anesthetic care. As a nurse anesthetist, sure, I felt limited in my ability to care for patients, but not because I didn't have independent practice. Rather, it was because I realized I didn't know enough to be able to take care of any patient with any medical illness for any surgical or procedural intervention. Now, I've done both jobs. I know the differences. That's why I can more effectively deliver our message. My advocacy experiences include testifying before legislative and regulatory bodies, participating in a meeting at the White House, national press conferences, videos, and presentations at national medical meetings. I also bring to this position a strong administrative background in academia that has allowed me to develop consensus-building skills that are essential to lead ASA. I've chaired the Department of Anesthesiology at the University of Oklahoma for the last 10 years, and I've also held leadership positions at University of Washington and Yale and Baylor. My academic and clinical background in 4 different states and 3 different caucuses has allowed me to experience firsthand both the art and the science of our specialty, all the while developing an appreciation for the regional variability in our practice. During my time at OU, we've seen the following growth. We've doubled faculty, residents, and staff. We've tripled anesthetizing locations. We've quadrupled nurse anesthetist numbers, and we've increased our budget from $10 to $35 million. That level of growth takes leadership, teamwork, and a vision, qualities that are essential to lead ASA. So what does our future hold? Legislative and regulatory issues loom larger than ever before. My expertise derives in part from my close working relationship with our DC office as a member and chair of governmental affairs. I've also learned from my participation on the Committee on Economics, as well as attending CPT and RUT meetings. In our future, there are federal legislative issues, including PPACA and 2 of its provisions, IPAB and the Provider Non-Discrimination Clause, for which we must advocate repeal. There are state legislative issues that will require our advocacy efforts, including halting scope of practice expansion and non-physician pain medicine practice. There are issues on the regulatory front, including ACOs and other payment methodologies and drug shortages. Simply put, we face more obstacles than ever before, and it's going to take unique leadership to face them, and it will take all of us working together to overcome the many obstacles. In all that we do, our priorities must be our patients and our members. We can continue to be the greatest specialty in the future. The key to this rests in our ability to create our surgical home model and strategically position anesthesiologists in leadership roles in this new care delivery model. Friends and colleagues, this is how we differ from nurse anesthetists. We are the perioperative consultants. While the ORs will always be our anchor, the non-OR activities will be our areas of growth. And this makes it all the more critical to keep our anesthesiology subspecialties within ASA. A strong ASA requires a leadership vision. Our vision should focus on our medical specialty of anesthesiology, as well as our premier specialty organization, the ASA. The vision for our specialty must include patient safety as a focus. We're living in an exciting time, celebrating the first 25 years of a patient safety organization, our own Anesthesia Patient Safety Foundation. Yet, there is much work that remains to be done to achieve our APSF goal that no patient be harmed by anesthesia. Our Anesthesia Quality Institute will help ensure that our specialty is strategically positioned to continue to lead the way in patient safety and quality for the next 25 years. In the future, perhaps one of the most important critical areas in which we must focus is the public relations and marketing campaign of anesthesiology. Current forces, such as resident duty hours, Doctor of Nursing practice degrees, and PPACA's provider non-discrimination clause blur the lines of distinction between anesthesiologist and nurse anesthetist. Issues like the DNP degree necessitate that we support passage of truth and transparency legislation. The onus is on all of us to educate our patients and our medical colleagues and the public as to who we are and what we have to offer. I hope to inspire our membership to advocate and educate with every encounter. The vision for our specialty organization includes a thoughtful organizational review of ASA to assure that it best serves our member needs. Among the topics for review are our structure and governance, our education mission, member services, and financial health. Our structure and governance must be organized in such a manner that individual voices continue to be heard and that individuals' ideas can become reality. It must also be organized such that in its entirety, we're nimble enough to be able to move our organization forward. Our education mission must include support for our training programs, as well as continuing education support for our members' lifelong learning pathways. Our future must include identifying the education and training needed to prepare for future models of anesthesiology care delivery. Our member services are here to support and facilitate all of our various missions. Our financial health is critical to our long-term survival. Our future must include identifying and implementing the most favorable payment methodologies. And in strengthening our financial status as an organization, we must never lose sight of the fact that ASA is here to serve our members and through us, our patients. So it's almost time to cast your vote on Wednesday morning. I hope that you will agree that I can sense both the opportunities and the threats in our environment. I hope that you share my visions for the future. It's going to require leadership with an attention to detail about the increasingly complex issues that we face. It will require some vigorous discussion both inside and outside ASA. And most importantly, it's going to require your wise counsel. The collective wisdom of everyone in this room is far better than any one individual. After all, never forget, we're a bottom-up, member-driven, volunteer organization. This election is all about the future, not the past. With your help and support, we can match my skill sets with the issues facing our specialty and ASA. Let me close with a word of thanks. The highest honor of our careers comes every day in which we're involved in patient care. When patients entrust their lives to us, there simply is no higher calling. I want to preserve that for future generations of anesthesiologists. Thank you for your consideration, and thank you for all you do each day for our patients, our medical specialty of anesthesiology, and our ASA. I will be honored to serve you and to serve ASA as first vice president. Thank you.